Hello, my movie peeps. Finally, something worthy to talk about here. The Grinch horror movie trailer has officially released. I have not watched it yet. Let's hit play on this bad boy.
Remember that story about Cindy You-Know-Who? When her Christmas was stolen, she knew what to do.
Why, Santa Claus? Why?
But what if I said that's not how it went down?
You gonna be okay? Because we can turn around right now.
No. Poor girl. Her mother was killed. Her mind snapped.
Did you ever find the Christmas killer?
Never got a reliable description of the man.
Dad? He is out there! What if the Christmas killer is back?
This town cannot go through another Christmas killer thing. Not again.
Us folks down in Newville, we liked Christmas a lot. But that thing that lives just north of Newville does not.
What is it?
The mean one. He's slippery, he's elusive. He's a mean one, that mister.
I'm not gonna be a victim anymore. Time to roast this beast. You're a dead one, mister.
Oh my god. That was real. They actually did that. Another $50 horror movie out there. Alright, so let's just break down and talk about everything you need to know about this movie, how it's even possible, what aspects of it actually make it seem watchable, or if this is just dead on arrival. But it's not just gonna be my opinion. I want to know from you guys. You just witnessed the trailer along with me. Are you someone who would pay money, drive to a theater, get some $100 popcorn, and watch this thing? Or are you someone that's gonna wait for this to end up on Tubi, Netflix, Shudder, wherever it ends up going months down the line? But okay, now getting into it here with the mean one. So the obvious explanation we have here for how this movie is possible, it's because it's a horror parody. Since this is parodying the Grinch character, it would follow under the umbrella of just Dr. Seuss properties. That as of right now that I'm fully aware of, no Dr. Seuss property is public domain, so nobody can just go willy-nilly make their own Grinch movie. But I'll be honest with you, from the moment I heard about this movie being a thing, I think the Grinch is a character perfectly suited to get a horror adaptation. I mean, the name is Grinch. He's a gigantic, green, smelly, disgusting monster that engineers these mechanical devices, hates Christmas, stealing presents, like the dude was always evil before his heart grew. And here in the trailer, it's kind of funny to see them play on the lore we know so well. We end up with Cindy Lou who in this movie is called Sydney You-Know-Who. Okay. I'm assuming, again, that's just for legal reasons. They probably just can't call this character Cindy Lou Who, so it's Cindy You-Know-Who. And she comes down Christmas Day as a kid, seeing what she believes is Santa Claus leaving presents, only for it to turn out to be the Grinch who ends up killing her mom. That is where we start to depart from the original Grinch story. But I'll tell you what, nice neat little setup here as far as a horror movie parody goes. Then that brings us to 20 years later, where we get the famous Grinch mountain in the background where he lives on top of that hill. Really hoping we get to see what his house looks like in this parody, but with the budget, I'm sure we're not gonna have tons of locations. And the city in question we're following this time around is Newville instead of Whoville. Again, legal reasons, parody purposes, Newville works just fine. It looks like Cindy You-Know-Who has arrived back after these 20 years, ready to kind of face her trauma, move on from it, and she's having nightmares of this Grinch. They're even throwing in all these other extra characters, like a cop who was there the night the mother was murdered, and the daughter had this drawing of what she saw. No wonder you couldn't catch the guy. Who's that supposed to be? But then, of course, mayhem ensues. And I'll be honest with you guys, for a small budget movie, you would think they would do everything and anything to make you go to the theater to watch this thing. Because it's only because of the viral buzz and people just talking about a Grinch horror movie parody that it's even getting a small theatrical release. If you go on their website, you can look up if your city's gonna play it nearby. Tickets should be available, I think. I mean, I know every time I talked about this Grinch horror parody on TikTok, it always got me to 1 million views, so you can bet damn well I'm milking this thing too. They ain't the only ones who get to mooch off properties, alright? I'll admit it, I'm a Grinch here too. Bambi, Peter Pan, all these horror parodies. I'm gonna suck up those views. But joking aside here, you would think they would put some of their best kills or really show off the Grinch here that I think is played by an actor right now in the horror community is really respected. That's David Howard Thornton, who portrays Art the Clown in Terrifier, and Terrifier 2 just had one of the biggest box office blow-ups in relation to its budget. That movie was only $250,000 and it ended up making $10 million. That is like an indie movie's dream right there, and I love what he does with Art the Clown. He brings in so much charm and charisma from mainly being a silent character. But something like the Grinch, he's definitely not going to be a silent character. He's going to be very loud, energetic, probably giving off a little bit of those Jim Carrey vibes, which I think is what you have to do. A lot of this feels a little bit inspired from the Jim Carrey Grinch, and I wouldn't blame them. I love that Jim Carrey Grinch movie. Watch it every year. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. But in this trailer, I feel like they are showing a minimal Grinch action and minimal kill action. There's a couple of sequences they're maybe teasing off here, but I feel like they're saving a lot of goodies for the actual movie, which again, for a low budget movie that needs as much attention as possible, I gotta give them a little bit of props for that. Even some behind the scene photos that they were showing off that were teasing this trailer showed off one kill where a character had these bows for eyeballs and blood dripping down. Didn't see any of that in this trailer. And so I kind of don't mind that they're kind of hiding the Grinch performance a little bit, not giving us too much of a taste for it. That's something we'll enjoy when we watch the actual movie, along with whatever other madness goes on here, because come on, we have our main character, Sydney You-Know-Who, all Rambo'd out with a bat wrapped in Christmas lights. She's got a shotgun in the shape of a candy cane, and at one point, I believe she's throwing an ornament as if it was a grenade and it's gonna blow up. This is maybe where we have to use our imaginations, because the budget is only limited to what they have here. You're clearly not meant to be taking this movie seriously. It's a parody after all, so I kind of like that it looks like they're having some fun with it. I love also how this movie is going to include a narrator, so this narrator that you're hearing in the trailers isn't just for the trailer. He's going to be someone present throughout the movie, and I like me narrators in movies. It adds that kind of Dr. Seuss vibe in here, so it's kind of cool that they did that. At the end of the day, though, whether this movie turns out good or not, we all know. I've built a tolerance over time of watching these low-budget horror movies, because as long as the story's interesting and the acting is halfway decent, oh, I can get into it. But I know some people just can't stand the sight of something that looks really low budget. Here, I'm willing to give it a shot just because it looks fun. Do I think it'll turn out good? Probably not. But after having sat through the entirety of Jeepers Creepers 4, I don't think there's a low budget movie out there I could have a worser time with than that. But this is where I throw it off to you guys. You see the trailer for the mean one, this Grinch horror parody. Are you going to be someone that's going to be watching it? Are you going to give it the time of day? This is starting to become a trend in Hollywood, just horror movies based on childhood properties. This is the first of many, y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.